All right, now let me show you how to implement a custom pipe. So here I have this text field that is set to a really long text, as you can see here. And then in the template, I simply want to render this text, but I want to summarize it. In a lot of websites, in a lot of blogs, you can see the summary of recent posts on the homepage. So here, we can implement a custom pipe to summarize this text, and then use it like this: pipe, summary. So let's see how we can implement this custom pipe. So we go in the app folder, add a new file, and call it summary.pipe.ts. The same convention we have used when creating components and services. Now here we need to import a couple of types from Angular. One is the pipe decorator function, and the other is pipe transform, which is an interface that defines the shape of all pipes in Angular. Now we need to import these from Angular/core. Then, just like components and services, we export a TypeScript class. Let's call this summary pipe. And here we need to implement this pipe transform interface. So implements pipe transform. Now, what does this implement? With this, we're telling TypeScript compiler that this class should have the exact same shape as the pipe transform interface. And that's why we have this compilation error. Let's take a look. So class summary pipe incorrectly implements interface pipe transform. Now, if you head over to angular.io and search for pipe transform, look, you can see that here it's an interface. If you scroll down, this is how this interface is defined in Angular. So in this interface, we have one method called transform with a signature. Our custom class should have a method with the exact same signature. So here I'm going to add a method called transform. This method should have two parameters. One is value, which can be anything, and the other is args, or the arguments we supply to our custom pipe, which is an optional parameter, and that's how we specify it in TypeScript using a question mark. And again, the type of this parameter is any. You can see the compilation error is gone. Now finally, we need to apply the pipe decorator function here. We pass an object. This object should have a name property. And here we add the keyword that we want to use in our HTML markup. So I use summary here because in our markup, we use summary as the name of the pipe. Now back in our pipe class, let's implement a very basic summarizing algorithm. So first I want to do some basic validation. If this value is falsy, I'm going to return null. So if it's null, an empty string, or undefined, we're simply going to return null. Otherwise, we're going to summarize it. So to get IntelliSense here, I'm going to change the type of the first parameter from any to string. And now we can type value dot, and we get all the methods available in the string class. We're going to use substring. So starting from the first character, we want to get a maximum of, let's say, 50 characters. And then simply return that. Now to make this a little bit more readable, we can also append ... at the end. Now if we go to the browser, we have a blank page, which means something is wrong. So in the console, the pipe summary could not be found because we defined this custom class, but we forgot to register this in our app module. Just like components or services, if you use a component without registering it in a module, Angular doesn't know about that component. The same applies to pipes. So let's go to app.module. Here in the declarations array, we add all the components and pipes that are part of this module. So I'm going to add summary pipe. And obviously my auto import plugin automatically imports the summary pipe on the top. Okay, save. All right, this is what we get. So you can see we have only the first 50 characters with ... at the end. All right, now let's take this to the next level. Back in our component, I want to be able to supply an argument here. So colon, I want to set the number of characters that I want to be included in the summary. Let's say 10. So to implement this, let's go to our summary pipe. So to make this more readable, I'm going to change the name of this parameter from args to limit. And I'm going to change its type to number. So then I'm going to write some code like this. Let define an actual limit. Now, if we have a limit here, we're going to use that value. Otherwise, we're going to use 50 as the default limit. And then pass actual limit here. Let's try this. Back in the browser. Now we have only the first 10 characters. What if we had multiple parameters here? We could simply add additional parameters. Let's say another, and that's going to be optional. It could be a Boolean, it could be a string, it could be a number, whatever, depending on the type of custom pipe you're going to implement. So in this case, we don't need this. Let's make it simple.